If you are somebody who's afraid of rejection, asking that girl, creating that piece of content, or asking for a raise at your job, then please do me a favor and do not skip past this video, because this is everything that I wish I heard 5 years ago. In life, there are going to be a lot of moments where you're going to be rejected, and it's a harsh truth of life, but on the flip side, it doesn't have to be. When we get rejected, it's easy for us to think as if something's wrong with us. I used to feel like I was flawed. I would just get in my head and talk myself out of asking for the raise, for example. And ultimately what this is a lack of self-respect. The fact that we want a raise, or the fact that we want to speak to that stranger, means that there's a part of us that believes that we should have a shot. And when we don't give ourselves that shot, we're basically just saying we're not worthy. So anytime you're faced with rejection in life, I challenge you to take a step back and really ask what is underneath that fear of rejection. A lot of times it has to deal with your childhood. I'll speak for myself. I was a very quiet, to myself, pretty lonely kid. And I built this comfort bubble that became my safety net, which was just play video games and just fall asleep in class. And anytime I wanted to do something out of the norm, it felt scary. It felt like, oh, I don't know what that feels like. That's unfamiliar. I'm just gonna not do it because I don't want to feel worse than I already do about this fear of rejection. What kind of life is that? I give myself grace because, we all start somewhere and we learn from our lessons, but imagine if you went your whole life just fearful of rejection. Fearful of rejection to the point you don't take any risks. You, as a man, emasculate yourself, because I believe that being a man is going after what you desire, making the initiative, just taking action regardless of how it looks, being messy sometimes, and realizing that you're going to learn from your mistakes. Going about your life fearful of rejection is emasculating yourself, is not giving yourself the respect that you deserve, and ultimately doesn't create a life that lights you up. When we are in our comfort bubble and we are afraid of the world, we are afraid of rejection, we're not stepping into our potential. We're not living a life that's going to be meaningful either now or on our deathbed. And I always like to think about my deathbed. When you go through loss in life, it'll really show you how short life is. And for me, that was my wake-up call, was going through grief. You realize that what is there really to lose? Something as small as going up to a stranger, telling them how you feel, telling them a thought you had. What's the worst that can happen? They can say gross, get away from me. It's okay. Life goes on, it's just like a river. Water doesn't stay still, life just goes on, it just flows. And the more that we are fearful of rejection, the more that we try to stop the river from flowing. So if we counteract that, we say, okay, I do want to step toward a life that I want to live. It becomes of how much can I just lean into resistance? How can I become friends with resistance? How can I become friends with rejection? How can I not be so fearful of this bully that we've created in our minds? How can we just step up to the plate and say, look, what's up? Because on the other side of that fear of rejection is all the opportunities that we're looking for. I believe that we are creators of our own lives. Not everybody's just gonna walk up to you and ask if you want a raise. Your future wife isn't gonna walk up to you and just ask you if you want to be her partner. So it is a matter of taking risks. And the beautiful thing is imagine you have to go 100 times of getting rejected, but there's gonna be that one that really clicks. Just imagine how good that would feel. Knowing that you put in all of those, you knocked on all of those doors to land this one sale, or to land this one relationship that teaches you everything that you're able to carry on to your kids, and you're able to make an impact with your audience, and you're able to live a better life because of it, knowing that you leaned into the rejection. Leaning into rejection takes courage. There was this book I read called Extreme Ownership. Do my best to remember this. Actually, I'm gonna look this up. Okay, I found it. Jocko Willink defines courage not as the absence of fear, but as acting to do the necessary thing despite feeling fear or any other negative emotion. Going into a situation where you're likely going to be rejected is never Okay, I won't say never, but for most people, and especially when you're just leaning into it, it's gonna be scary. Like there's this one time I saw these two women in this coffee shop and I was about to just leave without saying anything. And I was like, dude, the fact that I'm feeling all of these weird feelings, this fear of like being rejected, is the sign to go talk to them. So I literally turned around from the parking lot, went all the way back to the coffee shop, and I walk up to them and I just let them know what I was thinking. Mostly what that was for that day was for me. It's like, I am feeling this resistance to going to talk to a stranger. Therefore, I am going to talk to the stranger. Because it's through leaning into the resistance, it's through leaning into that discomfort and that fear that we level up, especially as men. And what's cool about it is that when you start practicing that, let's say, for example, with women, it starts to carry over in other areas of life and vice versa. If you take more risks in business, chances are you'll take more risks when it comes to strangers. And I think that that is what the key of life is. I used to run so much from rejection, and it's been the ultimate teacher for me. The more that we run from rejection, really, the more that we're running from our dream life. And it may sound corny. I know that, that term dream life gets thrown around so much. But why would your dream life just be handed to you? It should take some skin in the game. It should take some reps. It should take some discomfort in order to create the life that you want to live, create the content you want to create, build the confidence that you know you're deep down capable of having. And it's you against you. Not everything has to be taken to heart. When somebody says no, it could be multiple things causing that. Could be where they're currently at in life. Could be something they're struggling with that they don't want to vocalize. Just the wrong time of day. They're not in the mood. It could be they don't have the money for it. It's no offense to you. Or that person could be in a relationship. Like, there are so many reasons that could dictate why somebody says no. And I'm a firm believer that the more that you stack the no's, the more that you just don't give a fuck and you're present with yourself and you lean into what it is that you want to take action on and you just do it, the better your life is going to get inevitably. It just has no choice but to follow that sort of energy. Now, a key point here, something that really has kept me even more fearful of rejection are my habits, right? So, or I would say in the past, like, actually, I'll speak for the present too. Sometimes, we we come back to some toxic social media habits where we're doom scrolling, where this past Saturday, I literally was, my allergies were so bad that I stayed in the whole entire weekend. I think I stepped outside maybe twice. And Saturday was a complete brain rot. I didn't do shit. I just sat in my apartment and I doom scrolled half the day. And I remember at the end of the day just kind of laughing about it, like, wow, I literally just fucking wasted a whole day. But again, like, I was sick, whatever. I'm not gonna like beat myself up about it. Really, what is the point of beating yourselves up anyways? But it was interesting. I took that as like, okay, my brain is wanting to be distracted right now. The more that you are distracted, the more that you waste dopamine, which is just our motivation response, the less we're gonna have that dopamine and motivation to take the risk whenever the risk arises or the opportunity arises. If I go about my entire day and I'm very focused, I'm self-aligned, I'm doing the things that are meaningful to me, I am growing things that I care about, I'm giving myself the energy I deserve, I'm taking care of myself, I'm not like putting anything toxic in my body. The moment that that one stranger pops up and I want to go have a conversation, it's just gonna happen. The moment that I want to have a conversation with a client about raising prices, it's just gonna happen. There's no thinking. It just happens. So if you are fearful of rejection, a first step is to just reduce the amount of time you spend distracting yourself, because you're not stepping into for men, you're not stepping into your masculine when you're constantly distracting yourself. This is why I believe that your energy is your highest priority, because you just can't control when you're gonna have certain opportunities pop into your life. And the question is going to be, are you going to be ready whenever that opportunity arises? Are you going to have the courage to just take the risk and dive into whatever it is that's floating to the surface? Because it could be the thing that changes your life. I believe that if we operate this way, if we wire our brains to understand that on the other side of fear lies growth in all the life styles, the life things, the life opportunities that we want. No matter what, it starts with you. I believe in you. Don't beat yourself up for all the times that you've crippled down and shadowed your potential, because we've all been there. Now it's time to just flip the script, to stop distracting yourself, to step into your purpose, and to make the most of the opportunities that arise. And the most beautiful part is that you're going to start seeing opportunities in places that you otherwise wouldn't have. You're going to see the strangers at that coffee shop and actually feel the courage to go speak to them, versus just being at home in your comfort bubble where you're not in public at all. Leaning into rejection is the key to living the life that you love. It's not rejection that's the problem. It's the fear of rejection that's the problem. And everything that I've shared with you in this video has helped me completely reframe the way that I think about rejection, so that I can lean into it and have the courage to take the risk, to lean into the opportunities that come to my table with confidence. And also realizing that even if I am confident and it doesn't work out, I'm going to learn so much more than had I not taken that risk. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the products in my description. Bunch of helpful resources for those of you wanting to create content and optimize your mind, your brain, and your lifestyle. And also, there's a free community inside for a limited time only. If you want to check that out, it's also in the description. Dreamflow Lounge. And I'm excited to see you inside. Cheers. Go do the thing that scares you.